This is Jeanette Zeiderveld again with a session where we sit in a chair, so it's easy for people who are less mobile. Charlie's gonna lie down with me, and we're going to start with spinal flex. This is for warm-up. You can put your hands on your knees, scoot out maybe a little bit in your chair, and then we're going to move the spine like this, bringing the chest forward and rounding the back, and at the same time still up tall. And then we're going to add the breath, breathing in and out, in when you come forward, out when you round back. So like this. Warming up the spine. One more each way. Okay. Now your hands go on your shoulders, fingers forward, thumb in the back. And we're going to do the same movement, but we're going to add rotation with your elbows, like this. So same thing, breathe out and in. Make a big circle with your elbows. One more. Okay. Now we're going to put the arms 90 degrees in the elbows and at the shoulders, and we're going to rotate the lower spine. Breathe in one direction and out in the other direction, like this. Your bottom stays in the chair with weight on both your sits bones. Sit tall and just do what you can at your ability. It's important that you sit as tall as possible while you rotate. When you're down here somewhere, you're not going to get as much. So even if you have to do a smaller movement, but sitting better, that would be preferred. All right, a couple more. Okay, then now we're going to warm up the upper part of the spine, your neck. So your hands go behind you in your back. You're sitting a little bit forward in the chair, about halfway, so there's room for your hands. And then watch first that you're going to drop your head and then make a half circle in front, left to right, and then you're going to add your breathing. So go ahead and start this movement, and then breathe in one direction and out the other direction. Make it easy, smooth, and graceful. Don't focus on as much movement as possible, but just easy and graceful. And one more. Okay, now we're ready to do some releases. We're going to do 3 different ones, 2 that are in each direction and 1 that's just once in one direction symmetrically. So I used a timer because we're going to do each position for 5 minutes. So for the first one, you're going to be scooted out like you were. Then your hand's going to go, your left hand on your right knee, or on the right side of the chair and your right hand behind you. I'm going to start the timer. So sit in your twist and first start to feel that you are sitting on both your sits bones equally. And then sit as tall as you are able to, up from your pelvis in your torso. Then twist your spine a tad more and look over your right shoulder. And start taking longer, deeper breaths. When you breathe out, you can give a little squeeze with your belly. That might help with sitting nice and tall. Your hands are not pulling you around. They're just there kind of keeping you in place, but not pulling. When we would like for release to happen, we need to be in a position where our body does not perceive any kind of threat or too big of a stretch, so that your body can find little pieces of movement that normally do not participate. So in a big movement like this, there are many parts that are contributing. Maybe you can feel movement in certain parts of your spine and maybe not in others. Sort of check from your pelvis up. See if you can feel what we call the lumbar spine. That's the lowest 5 segments of your spine that go through your waist, and they don't have ribs on them. And then the thoracic segments that do have ribs attached to them, how are they doing with their rotation? How are they twisting for you? And then the neck, those are 7 segments, very mobile. And half of the rotation of your neck happens at the top 2 segments right under your head. You can have your eyes open or closed. You can even play with your eyes, looking to the right and then looking to the left, looking towards the floor and looking towards the ceiling, and then looking to the right again. You might find that that gives you a smidgen more rotation. Sitting tall the whole time. Feel your body. Be curious. If you're curious mainly about when the 5 minutes are going to be over, that's fine. Just stay with it. And it's about in this far into it that you're going to be most likely to experience some release. So that could feel like a softening or an easing somewhere, or it could be that your body just twists a little more. Don't try to forcefully twist more. Just sit there paying attention, allowing. Being curious. Your head reaching for the ceiling. That's it for the 5 minutes. So slowly turn back to the front. Wiggle around a little bit. And then we're going to go in the other direction. So I'll start the timer now. Then right hand on the left knee or on the left side of the chair, left hand behind you, and here we go. Again, sit nice and tall. Feel your sit bones on the chair. Are they equally weight-bearing? And then get a sense of how your torso stacks up on your pelvis, and see if you can get the weight of your torso to fall into your pelvis. And then the weight of the head. See what you can do to let the weight of the head also fall into the neck and into the torso and through into the pelvis. When you are in a good alignment like that, it actually is less effort to sit up. If you're kind of collapsed and the head's poking forward, that may feel like less effort, but the muscles on the backside are constantly overworking by themselves without balance of work from the muscles in the front. And then you get those tired, achy muscles in the back of your neck and in your back anywhere. Deep, long breaths. Once in a while, you can tuck your belly in at the end of the out breath. And again, no pulling with the arms, just holding you in place. And let it be easy enough. If your movement is considerably smaller, that's fine. We're just sort of knocking on the stuck door and saying, could you open a bit? Be present in your body. That is half the job. Where can you feel the twisting happen? And where is it sort of very silent and nothing is happening? That can be more difficult to feel than the parts that do move. Let's play with the eyes again. Look with your eyes over your left shoulder. Then look up to the ceiling. Look with your eyes to the right. Look with your eyes down towards the floor. And then again, look over your left shoulder with your eyes. And of course, that is the whole time without moving your head. It's only the eyes. You can certainly repeat that on your own, nice and slow. By now in your body, it's probably going like, well, where can we give a little? You want to find those team members of movement that don't usually contribute as much and welcome them back to moving. And that can come with a different sensation. All right, that's it for those 5 minutes. Now, the next one, we're going to let the head hang forward, and the fingers are going into the muscles in the back of the neck. There's a lot there, doesn't really come that close to where you put them. And then your fingers are going to press a little bit towards each other and a tiny bit down with your head hanging, like so. So most of your effort is like this, with the fingers going towards each other, and your fingers are about in this type of position, mostly bent at the big knuckles. I'm going to set the timer. Take a deep breath. And first, let's say thank you to these muscles. Being grateful for how hard they work all day and keeping your head from falling off of your torso. Now you are giving back to them with your attention and your pressure. So this is not massaging, it's just taking a place with your fingers. And imagine that your fingers are warm and that your muscles are cold, stiff butter. That's Charlie's stomach making noises. And that you're very slowly melting the butter with your warm fingers. And then you might feel that your head goes farther down, so that's good. And you might feel small changes under your fingers. That's normal. And as you feel some of that, or maybe you feel softening, then you just sort of pick up the slack until you have a bit of that pressure again, the same way you started. And if your head wants to move a little bit, then let it, or even your whole spine might change position a little bit. That's all part of your inner wisdom of how you can best self-correct. Charlie. So you just allow those position changes as they come up. And do remain upright through your torso though. Only your head is down at the neck. Try not to allow the rest of your spine to collapse. Stay upright from your hips to your shoulders, head hanging down. If you hit a tender spot, just give it attention. You don't need to back off for that. Just keep the same pressure that you found the spot with. And allow the position changes of your head and your torso too if it happens. And maybe you also feel a stretch down your whole back. It's going to be different for everyone. All right, that's it for the 5 minutes. Charlie's kind of calmed down. All right, we've got one more to do, and that is with the arm and the neck. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. And this time, our head's going to go to one side, and the arm's going to stretch out about like so to start with. I'm going to start the timer. You can sit in the back of the chair or a little bit forward like you were. So just tilt the head. Sit up nice and tall. Feel how you're sitting with equal weight bearing into both sides of your lower body. Be upright from your pelvis through your shoulders and just let the head hang. You don't have to try to stretch it over, you just let it hang so that the muscles here between your head and your shoulder get a mild stretch. And then let the arm start to take over. That's an idea that may take some time for people who are new to this. So try to almost let go of the arm and invite it to self-correct. Then imagine that you have lengthening going on. Don't actively do anything, but with your imagination, imagine lengthening from the top of your head through the neck, through the shoulder, and through the whole arm and out your fingertips. And then how about this? Maybe you feel a lot of tension there between your head and shoulder. How about letting that stuckness be like energy that can flow, and let the stuckness flow right into your shoulder and into your arm, through your wrist and hand, and out through the fingertips. How about imagine that here for a little while? All the excess from the neck, from the shoulder, just flowing out the arm. And the arm feels like it's getting longer. If you get a pinch somewhere around your shoulder, make up your mind whether you can go with that or not. If it's very intense, then don't, and maybe you could lower your arm some. If it's just kind of mild, then go with it. And your arm might start to change position, like mine's going backwards now. And I'm feeling a pull more from the thumb and that space between the thumb and the hand. I'm feeling a pull right into there. So I just allow that. Take an extra deep breath. Pull your belly in with the out breath and let go. Let go of the tension in your upper body. Oh. Maybe your shoulders still could go down a little bit, especially if you have a habit of shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears a lot. This is the time to let that go. Give those muscles a real break and let your body feel how that is quite all right. It is a response that we often have in stressful times or when we're just working really hard, which I guess can be stressful depending on whether, you are really into it or not. If your head changes position, that's fine. Oh wow, that's over already. Wow. Okay, so shake out your arm a little bit. This seemed to go faster. Right, now the other direction. So roll your shoulders a bit and now let your head go the other way. And pick up the other arm a little bit and see where exactly it wants to go. And let's do that again. Imagine lengthening from the top of your head into your neck, through the shoulder, down the arm, and out the fingers. Imagine lengthening all the way from the top of the head to the fingers. Try to sort of let go of your arm. Let the inner wisdom of your body, its knowledge of itself and what would be helpful, try to let that take over. We're using the weight of the head. We're not pulling the head over. Feel how you can just about relax the arm . And then let's do that idea about the excessive tension that might be in the neck and shoulder, leaving through the arm out the fingertips. Just like opening a faucet and it's just draining away out of there, through your arm, out your fingertips. Just send it into the world. Won't do any harm. And if you get a little discomfort somewhere, it's most likely just fine. But no sharp pain, please. If you have a sharp pain, then take a little break. You can always decide not to do it. It's not because you started this that you have to finish it. Boy, Charlie's stomach is grumbling. Deep breaths. You might hear a little crackle or pop somewhere in one of the joints. That's all right. Having your eyes closed helps with feeling in your body without the distraction of all that visual input, which is so dominant. All right, slowly come out of it. Roll the shoulders a little bit. Move your head from side to side. Feels pretty good. All right, so that was it for this session.
Bye, Charlie.